Am I saying that
That,
properly?
that's it. Done for yeah.
Dumphy. Okay. Oh, I think it just clicked on. Sorry, I'm going to do that again. Sorry, this is
Okay,
Stuart Deacon. I'm here with Kenneth Dumphney. Dumphney.
that's it.
All right. He's going to help me out do my first critique here. So I am presenting this to the cohort so they can watch if they want.
Good.
So
Okay.
I'm going to share my screen here and I'm going to pull up Lightroom that I got ready with your images. Bear with me for one moment. It's not coming back to my thing. Okay, here we go.
There we go.
All right, so you're seeing that?
Yep, I can see it now. Yeah. Yep, that's good.
Okay, perfect. Okay, tell me about this one.
Okay. Um, this one is there's a bit of a story attached to this one, Stuart. This is a shell I picked up on the beach one time. I brought it home. I intended to do a bit of still life photography on it, so I left it upstairs for a couple of weeks. Um, but unfortunately, what I didn't realize was it was still alive. And when I went back upstairs to retrieve it, it was stinking. So
Is this before? This must be after you
this is
moved
after.
it
So
up.
what
Okay.
I actually I put it out in the garden on a wooden post to and just left it there. And then one frosty morning, the sun was just coming up, and I took it off the post and I actually put it on the bonnet of the car. So what you see there is the frost icicles on the shell and the base, even though it looks like sand or maybe salt, is
It
actually
does.
the frost. Yes, the frost on the bonnet of the car.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like the beach.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I also there was an opening on the right hand side, so I just the sun is actually you can see it's coming in there and just lighting up the inside of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting. I thought it was on a beach, so you fooled me. Um,
Yeah,
the icicles here are really the coolest part about this one, I think, because it does
yeah,
look like it's on a beach and it looks like it's frozen or
yeah,
they're salt crystals or something going on. So that's really cool. Um, this is with your Canon too.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's with the
Um,
Canon. Yeah.
yeah, this one is really sharp. I really like the detail of the little spikes here. It looks really cool. Um, okay, what are some things that you like about this, and what are some things that you don't like about it?
Okay. I suppose if in an ideal world, I would have preferred to get the full shadow in. But unfortunately, I had to crop it because of the bonnet of the car and the shape. There's a ridge just behind it, so I had to take that out. Um, but I would have preferred to get the full shadow in.
Okay, yeah, give it a little more three-dimensionalism.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, I would have said that too. Maybe a little bit of the shadow would be okay, but it's actually not too bad that it is cut off because really the focus is all this light over here in the direction it's coming in at. I like that. So,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
like that it's lit
Okay.
up on the inside here, even though this is gross and decayed.
Yeah.
The remnants of something. So, okay. Yeah, I agree with those sentiments. I like the light of the now that I know this these frosty crystals right along here. They look like it's just sitting on diamonds or something. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, and you did a great job of having a subject and having nothing detract from that subject. I think if it were lighter up here in the right hand corner,
Yeah.
that would be it would pull your eye away. So I kind of like that there's this difference up here, kind of balancing out where the clam is.
Okay.
There's really not a lot I don't like about it. Um, the only thing I would say is that there's almost too much of it at the bottom. Can you see my cursor when I do that too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, here along the bottom, I think once it starts to go out of focus here, I think maybe the rest of this doesn't really add too much.
Okay. Yeah.
And the shadow here, there's still a lot of detail in the shadow here, so that's great. I love that, and I love that you can see the inside. That's fantastic. It really gives it dimension.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so I am to show you what I would have done with it.
Yep.
And I've kind of exported these things and then brought them back into Lightroom, so I don't have the exact adjustments to show you, but I'll kind of explain
Okay.
what I did.
Yep. Yep.
That's what I did.
Okay.
So I cut out right here. You can see it's starting to go out of focus. I probably could have actually pulled that crop up a tiny bit, but I was trying to keep
Yeah.
it in the thirds range.
Yeah.
So that most of
Yeah.
the clam would be sitting up in this quadrant up here.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought it was on a beach, so I kind of went with that theme and I warmed it up, given that this might be some sort of sand. So
Okay. Yeah.
I warmed it up, kind of make it look like a little more warmer light coming in. Cropped it a little bit so you get a little more direction of that light. Now that it's more of a horizontal shot, this one is more square shape.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with this, you get a more, the horizontal lines throughout the image.
Yeah. Right.
And I vignetted it a little bit so it just enhances the dark here and here, helps with the shadow a little bit. I also took a brush and I just brushed in a little bit. I raised the shadows a tiny bit. You can't really tell because I've added contrast as well, but after I added the contrast, I kind of brushed some of this back in because I like the crystals down here in the bottom in the shadows.
Okay.
I think that really helps. So that was my idea, just sort of warming, and it enhanced the colors a little bit.
Yeah.
The inside of the clam kind of looks the same, but the outside looks a little more yellow.
Yeah.
I guess that goes with your rotting theme.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually the crop is very interesting. It does make a big difference to it.
Normally, I think this has a great. I mean, you can tell what the subject is. There's no other distractions. It's fantastic. I just wanted it to punch between the background a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's a great shot. I love that. I've never seen a clam all frosty like that before, so that's cool. Not something you normally see. Do you have a lot of beaches out there? Is that where you got this from? A lot of shoreline?
Well, no, not a lot. It's about the beach should be about an hour and a half from us.
Oh, okay. I can't imagine what
anytime
it's like in Ireland, but
well, the beach is never too far away in Ireland. But anytime we go, I always collect stuff from the beach anyway.
Right. That's cool. We've just got freshwater lakes, so we don't get cool things like clams and starfish.
All right.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next one here.
Okay, Stuart.
This is what? This is in the park.
Okay, this was a flower show actually in Dublin during the summer, and I just got the Fuji X-T1 a few days before this, so I was trying it out. I normally use the Canon on a tripod, so I was using the Fuji handheld.
Right.
But the thing that I liked about this was just well, number one, the sculpture, the way it was sitting there, but also the way it was just surrounded by the flowers and the concrete.
Right. I like this little fountain down here, or pool.
Yeah. Yeah.
That extends on, I assume.
Yeah, it goes right around.
Okay. Okay, so what are some things that you accomplished here, and what are some things that you feel are kind of
okay, what I did accomplish was I'd taken this shot from a couple of different angles behind and different sides, but I think this shot it just shows the shape of the sculpture, which is really what this picture is about.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps I could crop that stone pillar on the right hand side, but
Yeah,
I'm
this
not
one.
sure if I did. Yeah, I'm not sure if it did, would it take away from the whole thing?
Right. Okay.
You see, if I crop that pillar out, I'm going to cut into the corner of the slab in front of her.
Right. Okay. I agree with that. I think that this is it looks a little like it's a piece of something, but not a
Yeah,
full part of an image. So I agree with that.
yeah,
I also think maybe this tree here, not so much this one,
yeah.
but this one here kind of detracts a little bit.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Not so much, but I think you're right. I think this part here is because she's almost pointing at it, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
it kind of draws out a little bit. Um, and the way that this statue is, ideally, it would be amazing if the statue could be sitting over on this slab here,
yeah,
because then you can get her looking at the other 2/3 of the photo. Um,
yeah,
when it's over on this side, facing this way, it almost makes you want to know what she's pointing at, but then there's this obstruction here. So
yeah, yeah.
um, the focus is fantastic. You must have some very sharp lenses because I've seen a lot of your images and they're very tack sharp. I don't know if you
Um,
opened these ones before you sent them to me.
no, I think that the Fuji, I, I'd have to check, but I think that was the 1855 lens I was using with that one.
Okay. I've never used a Fuji, so I don't know what they're like, but take your
Yeah,
word for it.
they actually they um they are a lovely camera, but okay, I'll tell you a story about them when we look at the next image actually.
Okay. Okay, first I'll just show you what I did
Yeah,
to this one.
yeah,
I
yeah,
agree with the pillar here. This is something that I felt needed to sort of come out, and I wanted to emphasize more just on the statue and the flowers because I feel that's really what you're
yeah.
trying to go for here. So that's what I
Okay.
did. I did crop right along
Yeah.
this thing. There's a little bit left in the shadow, but you're right. I didn't want to cut out
Okay.
too much of this slab down here.
Yeah. Okay.
So I've warmed it up. I actually in Lightroom I use split toning to
Okay.
to balance out the red versus the green and warm it up a
Yeah.
little. And I used a vignette, but I used it in color cast mode. There's actually 3 modes that you can do a
Okay.
vignette with. There's a little
Okay.
drop down menu. So that helped keep some of these bells from getting too dark when you had the vignette. And I
Okay.
feel changing the colors a little bit
Yeah.
pulls your eye away from this tree that I thought was possibly an issue.
Okay.
And these lines here, it's always good to have diagonal lines going out and hitting the corners. It gives a sense
Okay.
of
Yeah.
infinity.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, cropping out this side, you're not able to get that, but
Okay.
I think it's centered a little more.
Yeah.
And just me, I obviously I go for the more landscapey
Yeah.
crop.
Yeah.
It just helps to center her a little more, make her the subject.
Okay.
So that's
And
what I did. The main thing was this pillar over here. I agree that was
yeah.
something that kind of took away from the whole image. So.
And you've managed to warm up those concrete slabs. They don't look half as cold.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that was what came out of the split toning. It started to go a little red on me, but I pulled it back, so you get that
Okay.
brown kind of dirty look. But
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, a little bit warmer, keeping the
Yeah.
green bright.
Okay.
Okay, I'm actually gonna skip over that one there. Okay, and tell me the story about this one here.
Okay. This one, when I got the Fuji, I was considering trading in the Canon and going completely Fuji because a lot of people had. But I was I actually shot this from the kayak. This is in on the lake with the Canon 5D and with the 100 to 400 mil lens
Right.
handheld. and I couldn't believe how sharp this image came, because I was actually moving in the kayak
Yeah,
and I
you
was
know,
shooting handheld, you know,
it's funny
and
because
it kind of,
you can see its feet sitting on the water here, and it looks
it's
like the
actually
water is
dipping
not
in.
even moving.
Yeah, yeah, its feet is actually dipping into the water.
Yeah,
But it just, it just, it kind of convinced me that as good as the Fuji is for nature and for movement and sports, you just can't beat the Canon.
yeah, they're pretty fantastic.
Yeah,
That's a good
yeah,
lens too. To get this from, I guess it was pretty. I don't know I don't have the photo details here, but I'm assuming this is pretty fast.
yeah, yeah. And I was shooting in burst mode as well,
Oh, okay,
because we were moving. Um, but it's still, now I know there's a bit of noise in the water, but that's just the lake. It's just the mayfly sitting on top of the water.
sure, yeah, okay. Um, so what was your focus here? Besides, I mean, it's pretty obvious what your focus is. Um, but it was negative space your goal for the
Yeah.
shot?
Well, yeah, I was moving. I was like, I had to move. I was moving the kayak around the mayfly. Um,
Okay,
the lake was very calm, so I was just trying to get the reflection on the water as well as the mayfly.
right. Okay, well, you did that fantastically. I think
Mm.
that's you can get the colors in the reflection. It looks really good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I don't really have a lot more to say about this one, except for I call them fish flies.
fish
When
flies.
we- yeah, because the amount we get them for about 2 weeks in July, and they all die
Yeah,
off at once. They all clutter
yeah.
along the edge of the lake, and it smells like rotting fish. So that's what we
You
call them.
serious? Yeah, yeah. Well,
But I know in America
we
they
call
call
them.
them mayflies too. So that's
Yeah, yeah,
okay. Yeah, I think this is fantastic. I mean, you can play with the colors a little bit, but the wings have got a really nice green to them, and you can see all the little compartments of the wings there, and that's fantastic. And
yeah,
I know how small these things are, so that's
yeah,
to get even the eyes, you can even see them in there. So that's fantastic. The only
yeah,
thing I would say about this entire
yeah,
thing, because you're going for
yeah.
the this negative space, is this tiny little droplet or something right there.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever that
Okay.
is, I'm assuming it's a just a little ripple of some kind. So the only thing
Yeah,
I did was I just cropped it a little more, cloned that
yeah,
out, and just kind of dimmed it a little bit with a really soft
yeah,
overall vignette.
yeah.
But that
That's
was it.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah, there's
yeah,
really nothing else to do to this one.
yeah.
That was
Very
fantastic.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, uh, thank you very much for joining me.
It was a
Um,
pleasure.
let me see if I can just get out of here, and I will stop sharing my screen here. This is a
There
learning
you
curve
go.
for me, jumping all back and forth and stuff. And I don't really use Lightroom all that much, so that's
Do you
something
use
that.
Photoshop?
Yeah, I use Photoshop for
Yeah.
basically everything. I'll use Lightroom for really, um, pre-sharpening or something like that. But
Okay.
Photoshop just has a lot more parameters when it comes to changing color and doing
Yeah.
things like even simple vignettes. I find you have a lot more control. So
Okay.
I like going in there and doing that.
Okay. That was interesting about, you said you can do vignettes in different colors, yeah?
Oh yeah, oh for sure you can. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Let me
Okay.
just. I'm going to share my screen again. Just a second. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Okay. There we go. Can you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I just have to hit the present to everyone there. Okay. So, what you can do here is you go down to the effects, and by default it's set to highlight priority. Can you see that?
Um, No.
Oh, where am I here? Just a second.
Okay.
Okay, I'm still on screen share, right? Can you see
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Okay.
I can see the image. I can see the image of the mayfly. Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, the present to everyone, when I hit that, okay, and if I go back to Lightroom, you can't see that now, hey?
No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I am doing something incorrect here. Let's see. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second.
Okay.
I'm going to try that one more time. I'm going to go to the desktop. Present to everyone. All right, now if I go to Lightroom, can you see that?
Now I
All right,
got you
there
now.
we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
just
it.
hit the wrong selection there. Okay, so down here in
Okay.
the effects section,
Yeah.
this is where the vignette is. There's
Okay.
highlight priority.
Yeah.
And if you just click that, you can go down to color priority.
Okay.
Now what this does, you know what? I'm actually going to go to this image because you can see it a little bit better. It doesn't
Okay.
vignette in a different color. Sorry, I should retract that. You go to color priority, and what happens is when you do a vignette, let's make it very strong here. Zoom out. So if you go to color priority versus highlight priority, it's going to not vignette the colored sections as much as
Gotcha.
paint overlay. Sorry, it's not going to vignette the brighter colors as much
Okay.
as they
Okay.
should be. If you go to highlight priority, it'll pick the highlights to not vignette as much as anything else. So by default, it does highlight priority so that when you do this vignette, you'll still get these bells lit up a bit.
Yeah.
Then if you go to color,
Okay.
you'll see it kind of shift. I actually don't see it shifting too much on my screen here. Okay. See if I can play around with this. I was actually experimenting with this for the first time.
Okay.
On your image here, and for some reason, I'm not really seeing much of a difference here. Okay, well, you can see the paint overlay.
Yeah.
That's giving a weird kind of, it's chopping out those highlights for sure.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's not really showing the colored one. Interesting. Well, it's something to play around with. Maybe it became more apparent when I did the actual saturation. See if that does anything, just to see if that makes a difference. Not really, hey? Okay. Well, it certainly did make a difference when I was working with the split toning.
Yeah.
So it might be something to look into. It's new to me, but it was just something I noticed, so I thought I'd try it. But
yeah, and is that just in Lightroom? Yep.
This is just this is just in Lightroom. I don't normally even use this vignette, but I wanted to give it a little bit of one, so I started playing around with this. So
okay, it's interesting.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna stop this now. Thank you for joining me. I got one more of these to go, so we'll see if this we'll see if this does it. Okay. And go home. Don't stay at work on my account.
I'm going. And come here, the best of luck with the rest of it. We'll talk to you soon, yeah?
All right. Thanks so much.
Okay.
See you later.
No problem. Okay, Stuart. See you then. Cheers. Bye-bye.